All right, start.
All right, I'd like to go ahead and open up the Tuesday, March 21st, 2023 Warrenton Board of Alderman meeting at this time. If you would, please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the consent agenda.
We have the regular meeting minutes from March 7th, 2023.
Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, second by Alderman Crump. Roll call vote.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum is absent. Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Next is hearing from the public. If anybody would like to address us, we ask that you please come to the podium, speak your name, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak. Hello.
Hi, I'm Jane Kelly. I'm here with Warren County Fragile Homeless. I thought I had 60 seconds. So 5 minutes is very generous, but I won't do that to you. I just wanted to follow up. A month ago, I made a request that I need the city of Warrenton to have a person designated to work within the realm of housing crisis, and we need a place for emergency, temporary triage. And I'm just here tonight to hear what progress you've made. Am I allowed to ask?
No, you are. I'm just writing stuff
Okay.
down. Sorry. Anybody else can answer too.
I think we brought, after you had brought that to our attention, we had a couple different meetings, and that was brought up, Jane. And currently, at this time, I personally don't believe that the community can afford what you're looking for. Currently, the city gives, like, I think $20,000 a year to Agape, and I don't really see that currently or in the near-term future because of all the expenses that we currently are looking at for the community. So that.
Can I respond?
You can respond, yes.
Yes.
Neither request would cost any money. Let me just kind of, when I did a survey of some of the city departments and county departments, there wasn't one paid employee who would be allowed to attend or do or go or be part of meetings. Because if they do that, like, I'll just say one name, Jim Sharp, or et cetera, people that you might think health department, different, that's not in their purview. That's not, if it's not in their job description, they can't do it, even if they want to do it. So I wasn't necessarily saying that you need to hire a new person. We just need liberty. We need you to think about, is there someone you trust that could, so that's that piece. And again, on the second piece, don't need money, just a place. For instance, I probably shoot myself for saying, but just say that they could have a tiny edge of one of the parks, would be a designated area that the police know, that your field workers know, that your social workers know, the school knows, all the people who are involved know that if homeless are in that spot, we're going to try to bring them help, not arrest them. We're not going to take their tent and take their car. We're going to actually get them in the system and try to get, so it's not money on either count.
Do you have a number on, or is there a number that you can bring to us that have been arrested or harassed in any way by the police department?
I personally have been there when the police have come and...
I realize that, but I mean, what is the percentage of that, or the number that you have, and the number of times that that's happened?
I don't know how I would, I just don't know how I could answer that. Okay. It does happen, it has happened. It isn't every time. I think the police are great. Two sons were police officers. I'm all for the police. I mean, they have to obey the law. The law is, it's illegal to be...
I'm all for helping as best we can, but I think we as a city and a community are doing the best we can with what we have by helping the Agape with the $20,000 that we donate each year. And that may not sound like much comparatively to some of the cities that you brought to us prior or previously, but those cities are a lot larger than this community. And I think currently, in my opinion, we're doing the absolute best we can at this
You
time.
brought it back to the issue of money. I just want to be very clear. We don't have a money issue. There's millions of dollars if we want to tap into money.
Well, is there a way
It's
that
not-
you can do that as an advocate more so than, taking the time away from our community or from our employees to do that? It's not that our people are sitting here not, looking for something to do. We're shorthanded all over within the city itself currently. And so for me to say, hey, we can give you 4 hours or 2 hours a day or whatever, we don't have that. As I look at the budget today and the number of people, as you well can see on our signs outside, we're looking for people. And we can't get people to come in here to do the daily activity that needs to be accomplished. So it's really hard for me to sit here for the constituents that I work for to say, hey, we need to, and you say it's not money. It is money. When you talk to labor, it's money, no matter what you look at.
Can you quantify the amount of money that you're spending as a city on all of these homeless? You got about 100 homeless. What is that costing in man-hours? No one's quantified that, but it would be a big number. The impact on our schools is outrageous. The impact on our social workers, trying to find people. We gave them a blanket yesterday, they lost it, it got wet, the tent tore. Can't buy any more tents. I mean, I could go through, I'm over my 5 minutes, I'm sure,
All
but
right.
we could have a long discussion on what it's really costing. It's costing us a lot. Did you have a question?
I actually do.
Okay.
So I went on 411 after we talked last, and I'm not arguing this, I just have a question.
Yes.
Do I need to contact them? Because last time I looked at it, I hit our area, which was easy enough to get to, but it read the zip code of Winfield.
Right. It took me 4 or 5 months, and I had to actually go to the statisticians and have them teach me how to use the website. So it is a little tricky, and if you want me to do a tutorial, I can.
No, I just,
One mistake a lot of people make is they'll do the count by actual count. Our actual count is the same as Wentzville. I mean, that's just staggering. And something happened in Wright City the last 2 months. They are now equal to us. They were always half of our count. But I don't really pay attention to the count because the statisticians don't. What really matters, I mean, we were number 4 last week, only under St. Louis, Cape Girardeau, Kansas City, Warren County. It's just, as they look at that percentage, and they call me and say, what the heck is going on? I'm like, I don't know. But it's definitely getting worse. My 90-day count today was down to 9, but we're always in the top 10, and we hover usually between 7 and 8. It's kind of a moot point, until we can figure out a way to work together and make a trajectory where we begin to bend this thing. I presented a great business plan to the commissioners. In my opinion, it was a great business plan with great people that developed it, but I don't know who's going to take the lead. Lincoln County is doing some things. Again, all I came for to do was to say, can we just have a designated temporary area where I can send people. Right now, I send them on Tuesdays to street outreach. St. Joachim and Ann comes to Anchor House. We're getting so many people. The police drop them off, the troopers on and on. Anchor House is not our shelter. I'm at capacity and over capacity. They're everywhere. I can't put any more people at Anchor House. And all I'm saying is I just need a place where people can rest and not worry about being unsafe. My little old ladies in cars cry, and they make me cry. I mean,
You
we
had
should be
suggested
able
to do that in a park, letting them have a corner or something like that. I'm pretty sure no citizen wants to go to a city park and see homeless people hanging out at the park, living there.
It is a very
Whatsoever.
difficult problem. It is. Other communities have done it successfully. When I went to Springfield, I went to Bloomington, Indiana. It was the very, very back. It wasn't really noticeable. It was only enough for about 10, 15 tents. And it was quartered off, and then they had the porta potties and the dumpsters there positioned so that it was not real obvious.
But you understand how bad that looks, correct? I mean,
Listen, I don't know if there's a dirtier word than homeless. I understand it, and if you want to be reelected, you got to be really careful. That's why you probably need a PR team to work with you to help do some kind of a rollout if you decide to do that. But I'm just saying, I think the key word is temporary. I'm just saying, if you would say, for a month, give me a couple weeks, we don't have a warming shelter. Do you know how many people? My 86-year-old man was almost frozen to death, and my guys and people, I had a 41-year-old that almost froze to death. He was on the parking lot, and they revived him. But we're close to having some tragedies. We had an 8-year-old boy almost smashed by a tree this summer. The storm came, the tree came down, and he had just run into his parents' tent. We haven't had a fatality that I know of, but the impact on their morale and their everything else, I mean, I think we could do better. I agree, this is a very hard problem. I have taken the last 10, 12 years, and this is all that I do. I read, I study, I go, I think, what are some strategies? As a former business owner, I want to see a business plan that doesn't take taxpayer money. But I also want to see us have the liberty as residents to be able to put forth some of the things which will correct this, such as recovery homes, et cetera. That whole list that I gave you before, if we just allowed the free market to do those things, we would not be in the top 10. Never. We're the only county without any of those.
Well, I'm willing for the free market to do it, but our community is what you're asking to do. Is that what I'm hearing?
I need both. Right now,
But I'm
let
telling
me
you
just-
right now that this community is stretched financially where we're at today. And we're
hear
doing
that.
the best we can by donating $20,000. As I hate to keep repeating that, but we donate, the community is doing something. We're not doing
Let me
nothing.
just offer
So-
this. Missouri Housing Trust Fund is under the Missouri Department of, MHDC. And so we as Warren County through Agape last year had $114,000. That wasn't even half of what we spent on motels. That was just their piece. And then you got your St. Joachim and your St. Vincent and your Holy Rosary and all this other. Our motels are full. We can't answer this with motels, but we need both. All I'm saying to you is if I could just have a tiny spot on a temporary basis where I could get some people gathered up and try to get them some services, that would help. This is a multi-tiered problem. We can solve it. We're smart and we care. We're smart and we care. But I don't see this as a money problem. And when I did the deep dive, and I took a year to just study the finances and where does the money come from and how do we get our money, it's our tax money that's earmarked with our name on it for Warren County that goes up, goes to Kansas City, goes to DC, and drops back down. That's our money. There's actually 5 pots of money. What we need is liberty. We need to have a place where we can begin. Maybe eventually that place would only be very short term. Or we don't like it and we'd move it somewhere else. I don't know. That is the money shot. Where do you allow homeless people to be? Where can they be where they're safe and we're safe? We're not real safe when they're all, I'm not going to spill the beans, but they're everywhere. And they know they're not supposed to be there. There's not a legal place to be homeless.
So you mentioned this money's there. So how do we get this money?
That'd be
Because
way
that's-
over my 5 minutes.
That's what I don't know. But see, that's what I would like you to bring to us. I guess what I would like to see is, you're talking about this business plan and things. That's the stuff that I want to see is like, okay, if you're bringing this to me, this is stuff that we can sit down and look at as a community and then evaluate it and see if this is unfeasible. Because apparently you're the person who knows more about this than I do. So I would expect you to be able to bring that information to me and say, this is how we can go about getting this money, to help our homeless people and things like that. Because I am not the expert in
If you're
this field.
talking on that 1 year to 5 year plan, anyway, that's different than the crisis. Again, I came tonight just for the crisis, but I'd be honored to share with whoever, whenever.
how many
But it's
successful
more than a-
programs are
it's-
there?
Well,
How many what?
How many successful programs that you're talking about, temporary staying here and How many of those are actually successful to where these homeless people come and stay and then they move on to where they're not homeless anymore?
Do you remember when I gave my talk a month ago about Bloomington, Indiana? Do you remember that? And so Bloomington, Indiana solved homelessness. I loved their model. I looked at a lot of models. They got it in spades. So when you're homeless, you're immediately housed in a motel for a day until they figure you out and they offer you 5 or 6 options. If you want to live in a tent, you're allowed to live in a tent, and every day they are checked on by social worker, police, et cetera. They got a whole plan. And usually within about 2 or 3 months, they're tired of being in a tent and they're ready to get housed.
What's the population of,
95,000. When they,
so they're 10 times larger than this
when
community?
they were a city of 21,000 when, you can read it on the internet, in 19,
So they're 3
60.
times larger than.
Oh, yeah, but they formed their plan when they were small, like us.
Yeah.
And they said, we're always going to have housing. So it wasn't about homelessness. It was about, we're going to do all of this, I use the word diversity, but all of this housing options. We're going to make sure that we have plenty of those. And that's how they built the success. And they don't have any housing problems. They have low crime. They have, anyway, they got everything. I think there's 95,000 in the city, and they are the state university. 50,000 of their population is the university. They have the feeding trucks and all of that.
I think I agree with Alderman Crump. If you could bring us, if you want to continue going forward with this, you bring the information to us about where we can ask for money or request money or whatever we need to do. But I have to totally disagree with you. It's not about money. It's always about money. And it's having the finances to do such things. Currently, we as a community, I feel, is doing as best we possibly can at this time. Thank you.
So, Ms. Kelly, let me go ahead and I want to address what you brought up. I feel like we've kind of addressed a lot of different issues, but not what you brought up. For a sliver of the park, honestly, I think there's a lot of legalities we're going to have to check with our lawyer on. So that's not a quick answer we can give you, but it is something we can talk to them about and possibly give you an answer at a later time. The legalities being who's responsible for what and where would we be held liable. And we can go back and forth and banter back and forth about what the answer to that may be. It's going to come down to really talking to our attorneys and seeing where we're at on that. And then we could probably give you an answer at a later time, if that helps out. I mean, I wanted to get the answer of what you asked.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I just threw that out there. I don't care where it is.
But that's something we do need to talk about, and if that's something you've thought about or your crew has thought about, that's something we can delve into and kind of start asking questions and do some research on.
I would rather present what I presented to the commissioners in a private setting.
Okay, that's fine. We can do a workshop
Okay.
and do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? All right. Next will be Board of Alderman comments.
None.
I just want to say, good luck to Adam.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations and good luck.
Yes.
On your new journey.
Is this your last meeting with us?
Hate to see you go, but I understand.
Who's taking over?
A cloud.
Wipe that smile off your face.
So there is a job opening.
Boy, do we know about those.
Oh, good luck to you, Adam.
Yeah.
Wish you the very best.
Good luck
And
to
thank
Adam.
you.
Thank you. Next, we're from City Administrator Brandy Walters.
Good evening. The first thing that I have for you tonight is insurance broker services. We have currently insurance broker services. If you don't understand that, they basically help us with the bidding process for all of our benefits, our health insurance, dental, life, all of that stuff. And we have been with Marsh McLennan. They were formerly J.W. Terrell since 2014. So our bidding process and stuff wasn't great last year, so we decided we would go out and see what else is out there. So we did RFQs. We got 8 different companies that submitted RFQs for that. We had 4 different city staff members who graded each one of them separately, and they did kind of a scoring scale, which I've attached in the Dropbox tonight. And Gallagher is the one that was our top pick. And so that's who we are choosing, who we recommend to move forward with, is Gallagher. One of the great things also, just a different point about them, one of the great things they do have is a software program that comes with it. They're not increasing our costs or anything like that. They're taking over basically what we're paying already, which is all done through the insurance. They don't bill us separately. They have a software program where when we get a new hire, the new hire can sit down and they can go through it step by step and see exactly what's going to be on their paycheck, how much is going to come out, if they pick this or whatever, and they have those different options, and it walks it through with them from beginning to end.
Any questions on that? I'll entertain a motion to award the insurance broker services to Gallagher.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Jaspering, second by Alderman Miller. Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent.
The next thing I have for you tonight is the MoDOT evaluation of I-70. They sent in a request that they would like to reevaluate all of their findings. They did an environmental study back in the mid-2000s, and because we have property that adjoins their right-of-way areas, they would like to have permission to just have their staff or their contractors go along there and they may have to do shovels or look for habitats for endangered species, that kind of thing. They're wanting to update the whole report that they did back then, basically. They're going to go from Highway 19 to Wentzville to do this, and they're just wanting permission for that.
Permission to redo it?
Yes, they're not, I don't think they're redoing the whole thing. They're just wanting to review different places along that I-70 corridor.
What endangered species habitats are there?
You want me to tell you?
I just want to know.
The New Jersey bat.
There is
Really?
an Indiana bat.
Yes. And the what?
The Indiana bat.
Indiana, is it Indiana and New Jersey or just Indiana?
And they hang around
I think there's a New
I-70?
Jersey one too,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They just hang out
Yes, certain
around the
seasons,
highway?
like 2-3 months. They can't
Certain
do it during
trees.
mating.
And you can't remove those trees except specific times during the year.
Oh, lordy.
Otherwise, you have to do a bat
This is
study.
what we went through with the overpass, and it was like serious business.
I thought it was the park.
I believe, if I'm remembering correct.
It was our
is
park
that
we had to
split
wait.
stop
I didn't know it was
For
a,
the
Was it?
Truesdale.
I thought it was over by the,
$7,000 study.
I almost
Probably.
thought it was over by the,
Were in that
Golf course.
on that property, so they had to hold off for like 3
On that
months or
end.
something before they could start
Disc
taking
golf.
trees down there.
Yeah.
by the overpass.
weird
So MoDOT just asking permission,
to do a study.
if anybody's here from MoDOT, I'm sorry, but I've never heard MoDOT ask permission of us for anything. So pardon me that I'm a little taken back on this.
The archaeological
I know.
sites, they'll find another crooked
Yeah,
tree.
that's what I mean. Normally, they do what they want on their own roadway.
We just got a letter in the mail.
Okay,
To sign
so
off
I'll entertain a motion to allow MoDOT to
shovel tax.
reevaluate their study.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Crump. Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump?
Thank you, and yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Was it not you, Crump?
Yes, that was correct.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. You can let MoDOT know we give them permission.
I have a reminder for you for Cocktails and Conversations with Greater Warren County Economic Development Council. That is at 5 p.m. on March 28th, so next Tuesday, and that's going to be at the 227 Social House. Also, watch your emails and texts, because I'll be sending out some meeting dates for upcoming work sessions, for the work session with P&Z and the board. So we'll be sending out those pretty soon, probably over the next month or so.
That it?
That's all that I have for you.
All right. Next, we'll hear from Director of Operations,
Brandy
not
Walters.
John Strugoff, but in lieu of Brandy Walters.
The first thing that I have for you tonight is the monthly admin report.
I hope they have questions for you.
The one thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is we just did all the sales on Gov Deals last month. He had 8 sales, and it was at $5,876.
Nice.
And again, we're still hiring. Questions?
Nope.
The next thing that I have for you for John is the mowing of the right-of-way bid. This project is the mowing for Veterans Memorial Parkway, the roundabouts, as well as the north side of 47 along the new sidewalks. And it is our recommendation to accept the bid from Nelson County Land LLC in O'Fallon. The season total is approximately $41,900 for all of it.
How much is it?
$41,900. And that would be for the total. This total at the top where it says bid total, that's for just those line items, just once per week, once per month.
I get right away. Can we change that somehow? Does it not look like mowing rows or mowing row?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, but if somebody's reading that, what does it look like? Anyway, it's minor. I'll entertain a motion to award the mowing of row or right-of-way bid to Nelson County Land LLC at the low bid.
So moved. So moved, excuse me.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by Alderman Schultz. Roll call vote.
Alderman Quarter,
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent.
And that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from City Clerk Melody Rue.
The city had a request from the developer for the city to accept the streets, water and sewer lines, and personal items, personal property in the Meadows of Walnut Hollow subdivision, Plat 3. And these areas were inspected and they meet code, so this is doing the formal request to take over those areas.
Streets, water lines, and sewer lines? And Plat 3, okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of Bill number 16-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Jaspering.
An ordinance accepting land as road and utility easements which are known as Walnut Valley Lane, Walnut Valley Court, and Walnut View Drive, including all cul-de-sacs surroundings of the subdivision known as Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 3, a re-subdivision of lots 188 to 210 and 215 to 225 of the Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 1 by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of Bill number 16-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance accepting land as road and utility easements which are known as Walnut Valley Lane, Walnut Valley Court, and Walnut View Drive, including all cul-de-sacs surroundings of the subdivision known as Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 3, a re-subdivision of lots 188 to 210 and 215 to 225 of the Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 1 by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Jaspering,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with 1 absent.
And this is the personal property, is the next bill.
17-23 is personal property, or is it on the
It's on,
street
it's
signs?
all included in there.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of Bill number 17-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Jaspering, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance accepting street signs, water and sewer lines, and all items of personal property or fixtures of Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 3 subdivision, a re-subdivision of lots 188 to 210 and 215 to 225 of the Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 1 by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
I'll entertain a motion for second reading of Bill number 17-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Schultz.
An ordinance accepting street signs, water and sewer lines, and all items of personal property or fixtures of Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 3 subdivision, a re-subdivision of lots 188 to 210 and 215 to 225 of the Meadows of Walnut Hollow Plat 1 by the City of Warrenton, Missouri.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent.
That's it.
All right. Next, we'll hear from Building Commissioner Mike Cross.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have my monthly report. And a few highlights here. I guess you guys have seen the C-stores progressing up there at the fueler very well.
Yes.
Starting to get some underground piping in there for all the service station pumps. Since Rawls has been working out of Pinckney since July of last year, they've sold 11 lots total out there right now. So they've got 2 completely occupied, 6 under current construction. So they're moving along about a hole every other week or so for a new foundation. SSM is kind of on a hold, waiting on plan reviews to come back. There's been a few issues they've had to resolve, so they're working on those. Tractor Supply / Arslan has broke ground. So they're moving dirt and they're waiting for another soils evaluation to come forward to see what they're going to do. But other than that, I don't know if you guys have seen the big retaining wall that SSM put in, but it's quite nice.
Father was telling me about that.
Yes, they worked very hard on that. It turned out very nice. A lot of work into that wall.
Some parking.
That's all I got for you, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we'll hear from the Lieutenant of the Police Department, Justin Unger, instead of the Chief of Police, Larry Ellard.
Hello, good evening, Mayor and Board. In front of you should have Chief Ellard's monthly report. Also on top of that, just to kind of go over a few things, we've been doing a little more planning for some more community involvement lately. One thing to kind of go over, we had went to a Reading is Fun Week at a local elementary school, and 6 of our officers went and participated and read to a bunch of little kids. They really enjoyed that. And we're also moving forward with some planning for our upcoming Citizens Police Academy, and also the 2023 Torch Run with the Special Olympics of Missouri. On top of that, we've also been invited to attend the Warren County Fair and to hopefully get Chief Ellard into a dunking booth. If not, maybe I'll do it or something, but we want to participate in that as well. So that's really all I had, just to throw out some community involvement. And if you have any questions.
Questions?
Nope.
Get it easy tonight.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Director of Planning and Development, Tim Burks.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. And you have a copy of my monthly report for February. One of the highlights was Ben Oak Mutual had their ribbon cutting last month on the 16th. They were located at 906 South Highway 47. So they finally got their building open. And it's a pretty nice setup in there. They really did a nice job.
Is that right, huh?
You have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
The first item is going to be an amendment to Section 405 regarding recreational marijuana, ADM 128. The proposed ordinance amending the city's zoning code regulations for medical marijuana. The red line on the report shows the changes to the city's existing regulations. These changes mirror the recent constitutional amendment approved by the voters in November 2022. Public hearing notice was posted in Warren County Record on February 9th, 2023. Planning and zoning results, there was no public comments, and the motion passed 8-0 with 2 absence. Do you have any questions?
Any questions from the board? And open it up to the public. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on this? Not seeing anybody, we'll carry on. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of Bill number 18-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Jaspering.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending various sections of Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton as the same relate to medical and recreational marijuana land use regulations.
Entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 18-23.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Corder.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, amending various sections of Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton as the same relate to medical and recreational marijuana land use regulations.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent.
The next item is going to be the approval request for Costello proposed easement abandonment. Lewis and Beatty on behalf of Scott and Julie Costello Living Trust dated February 16, 2015, would like to request an abandonment of the north 5 feet of the reserved utility easement from the abandonment of Meyer Avenue in Ordinance 914 along Lot 14 of the Mosery-Meyer-Coling addition to the city of Warrenton, Missouri. It's noted that with this 5-foot abandonment, the city will still have 35-foot wide easement remaining on Meyer Avenue. So this was a street easement before, now it's a utility. So they want to abandon the north 5 feet. Will still leave the city 35 feet to, if any work needs to be done on that. Planning zoning results. Scott Costello excused himself from the discussion and vote of this agenda item since he was the applicant. The motion passed 7-0, 2 absent with 1 abstention. Is there any
Questions from us?
questions for me?
I believe so. Nothing that needs to be addressed? Okay. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 19-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Porter, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, providing for the release and vacation of a portion of the utility line easement reserved to the city by ordinance number 914.
I'll entertain a motion for second reading bill number 19-23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Schultz.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, providing for the release and vacation of a portion of the utility line easement reserved to the city by ordinance number 914.
Call vote.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with 1 absent. I'll entertain a motion to close the regular Board of Alderman meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Corder. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are so adjourned.